Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of featuring our phenomenal alums and how are they making the difference in the world. Today, we have invited a very special friend of mine. His name is Ved. He's a very well known in the social entrepreneurship space. He's doing phenomenal work for decades. Today, I wanted to really talk to him very specifically about how do we bring social equity in this world. We are all baffling with this problem where income gaps are rising and the poorer people are getting poorer and poorer. And he and me both agree on two things. We disagree on a lot of things actually, but two things we agree: entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, the problem is if every single person start focusing on just making businesses or become a businessman just to make money, is it good for the society or not? Is it going to change the society or not? Let's have a conversation. Maybe it get heated. So please be prepared. Welcome to our show, Ved.
Thank you, Sanjeev. And I am so grateful and honored to be here. And since every time I meet a young person, I feel I'm very, very blessed because, young people bring hope and young people bring ideas. They're more open. Not that I'm not open. We all feel young at heart. So we may be saying that 63 or 64, whatever I'm saying is it's a right age to be in. So I think it's a very interesting twist to the question of equity you have given. Is the entrepreneurship or the business entrepreneurship solution to equity or lack of equity in the society? I'll just quote the size of the problem in India. We often talk in the world about the disparity or the gap between rich and poor. The data that was recently put out was the top 10% of the Indian population are cornering 76% of national wealth. Just the top 10%, 1/10 of the people had cornering 3/4 of the national wealth. Or another way to say is that 73% of wealth generated went to 1% in another year. So what does it say? That you create 100 rupees wealth or GDP and 73 out of that goes to 1%. If there are 100 people, that means the rest of the 99 people have to make do with the 27 or 20, whatever. And if you further do the math, you will figure out that very little is left for the bottom 90% or bottom 75%.
Yeah, but Ved, people like you are making that difference because we
Yeah.
both believe that if you don't do work, then the rewards should be reciprocal to efforts and risk you are taking. I mean, it's a lot of things. It's not that straightforward. And that distribution has to be based on people's efforts. I understand, and we understand people from a different background, different upbringing, maybe education. And another equalizer we both agree on is education. I mean, you studied at one of the most premium institute, IIT Kanpur. And it's like so many leaders came from IIT Kanpur. So education is a common thread for both of us, and the entrepreneurship is a common thread. So today I really want to focus more on entrepreneurship and especially social entrepreneurship. But before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about your IIT Kanpur days. What was your hostel?
Your hall 2 was my
Hall 2.
hostel. Yeah. And there
Go
we
Hall 2.
Yes. So I think we need to see that a society, an environment creates opportunities for everyone. So I am not for any conspiracy theory. I'm not necessarily believing in what Noam Chomsky says, that it is all very deliberate, that some forces or evil forces are at work to make things worse. So there is hope, and I am an incorrigible optimist that things will happen. So in this context, I'm from a Hindi speaking background, from a small town in Rajasthan,
Which one?
from Bharatpur.
Oh, nice. That's a great Bharatpur bird sanctuary, right?
Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, and it's close to Mathura. The Bridge Bhumi is close to Agra, the Taj Mahal. So, an interesting story or tale hangs there when I got admission to IIT Kanpur, and it is by way of getting merit in my state board. So, the children and the people around said, "Why are you going to IIT? It's so far. Why can't you go to ITI in Agra?" So that was a level of awareness from where I come from. Then I made it close to the top in IIT in my branch, and I got admission to 10 universities. So I think I'm singularly lucky to be given that opportunity. And what you make of the opportunity is up to you. So that's what I'll say, that merit, talent is one thing. It is the effort. You won't believe, and many of the friends here would not believe who are listening. I used to do Havan in my room in my first year, room number 248 in evening of hall 2. And I still have not forgotten how my roommate used to bug me and taunt me and whatever. But this is the tough life. And that's what, IIT Kanpur is. It puts you through such fire that you are made to you are annealed, you are fit for, or you are suited for taking anything in the world. That's what IIT Kanpur is. And at the end of it, I've been working in social sector, and IIT Kanpur rewarded me with the Distinguished Alumnus Award a couple of years ago. So I think this is hats off to what we got in terms of teachers, in terms of opportunities, and so on and so forth.
Oh, Ved, I'm so glad, and thank you so much for agreeing to be on our show. This means a lot to a lot of alums. We have close to 500,000 alums globally now, and interesting fact which a lot of us know: 1% of GDP, global GDP, is managed or controlled by IIT alums today. That's a pretty big deal for
Fantastic.
us. So we have arrived. India has arrived. So has IITians, and we are really proud of that. That not only in the for-profit enterprises, people like you are making difference in impact world. So let's talk a little bit about impact entrepreneurship, so our audience understand what is this term about and what it entails. So can you help us understand what is impact enterprises or impact entrepreneur?
So, impact entrepreneur, I will take it from social impact entrepreneur point of view, because ever since I saw that fisherman colony in Bombay, when I was going to TCS offices, I used to walk. I saw such squalor. I'm from plains, so I couldn't bear the stench and the stink, and I saw such poverty. And I thought, this is where, to me, impact at the age of 23, what was it? I had just gone to IIM Ahmedabad and I joined TCS, and I began to see, although I was a blue-eyed boy of my boss, Bala, but I began to see this. So for me, I had defined my life mission, and you can call that as impact. I was seeking, if I work and do something for 100 people in life, I think my life is done. So it is up to you to define what is impact for you. It is a relative term. For Bill Gates, something else. For Sanjeev Goel is something else. For my next door neighbor, it's something else to run the RWA colony well, without any trouble, without any trash, whatever it is. Impact is how you define it. And therefore, how you go about doing it is the way you are the entrepreneur, and therefore everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody, as we say in IIM, is a problem solver. So so that is how I think I would define impact. So I'm also saying, Sanjeev, that there's no particular two horns I have, because I am trying to make social impact. Those who are solving the technology problem, say in terms of clean energy, or in terms of sort of capping the temperature rise only to 2% by the end of the century, they're all doing good for society. It doesn't have to be that I am only working for the poor, therefore I have to be sort of recognized in any special way. I consider myself to be an ordinary guy. In fact, I want to quote for your classmates or your friends and my all. What did you say? 1 million or half a million IIT graduates, IITians,
IIT alums, close to half a
IIT
million.
alums.
That's what I've been told with last count.
Yeah. So
which is hard
Tagore,
to believe, by the way. In
hard to believe.
70
I can't.
years, 70
Yeah.
years it was zero. And in 70 years, we have produced and phenomenal people who are leading the world, including in non-profits like you.
Yes. So some are known and some are not known. It doesn't matter. But together, this must be the biggest social group in the world, which is making the biggest impact on the world. So I'm so proud to be part of the IIT and community. In fact, I'm realizing, Sanjeev, this after so many years. So maybe my cells are working slowly, or I'm a tube light, as they call it, whatever it is. But thank you for bringing me to this, to be able to speak to my friends. And so Tagore said, uh, perhaps the crescent moon smiles in doubt. Perhaps the crescent, it's not a full moon. Perhaps the crescent moon smiles in doubt at being told that it is a fragment awaiting perfection. So even at the age of 63, going to turning 64, I feel I'm imperfect. So I feel good. You give me an opportunity, I'm going to take it with both my hands. So that is eagerness, curiosity, and enjoyment in seeing another human being. So in my next trip going forward, Rajmohan Gandhi has agreed to have a call with me on a Tuesday. So I told him, I want to come and see you. He says, don't waste time and don't waste jet fuel. Just have a 1 hour call. I am so lucky that I have these opportunities.
Absolutely. Same here. I mean, I feel privileged to be serving our community. And that's my way of giving back. But what you are doing is really phenomenal. You make us special. And that's very important. But let's come back to the idea of Buddha Entrepreneurship Program or Buddha Fellowship Program you started. Can you tell us how you even got that idea and what kind of framework you have put together and how it has evolved? So it's the three questions. So let's start with how it got started. Why Buddha Fellowship?
You know, the background is that my journey has been from professional to development professional to now development entrepreneurship. So in TCS, with IIT IM degrees, you have two passports. One is IIT passport we are talking about, another is IM passport. So I became a professional, IT professional. I was supposed to do COBOL, and somehow I didn't want to keep so many pencils sharpened to write COBOL liking it. I didn't like it. So I said this kind of professional, I probably gut feeling is I want to do something for fishermen people or others like that. So I started looking
That was
for
your calling.
I no big word. I'm an ordinary people going by heart, and being emotionally considered to be weakness, because we are logical people in IIT. We should be able to see crash jig, we have to solve the
Systematic
Thomas.
thinking.
Yeah, and analytical geometry. What is this guy going by heart? This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I met Baba Amte, and I met many people who had been followers of Gandhi or Jayaprakash Narayan or Vinoba Bhave, and I never turned back. I honestly want to tell you, Sanji, or my friends here, I never looked back. And I said, my life is about sleeping on the floors or living in the villages. So that's how I actually enjoy meeting people. Maybe it's my social need or my psychological need. I just love people. So I can't see social injustice. I can't see a old woman, waiting for her turn outside the collector's office. I get so upset and so upset at the system that somebody is so powerful and he has kept that old woman waiting and giving me turn to meet out of turn. This to meet him. This just so I think there is something in me that has bugged me about social injustice. So that's what I think drove me towards this. So I set up Cision, my own organization that had actually brought 500,000 or 500,000 people out of poverty. So this was being done with
That's huge.
grants. Yeah. So this was being done in 20 districts, 6 states, and so on and so forth. Then I said, I should leave Srijan. Like Sunil Gavaskar said, you should leave when people are saying, oh, why are you leaving? rather than saying, kick it at your butt and say, get out of here. So
When
I
you're at the
said,
bottom.
the bottom. So I said, this is enough. And the robustness of my organization will be tested when I'm not there. That is the resilience.
Yeah.
So I have given it to somebody for 4 years, been doing well, and he's raised more money for Srijan than I could ever. So I'm so happy that I'm not even on its board. So what is the idea of the Buddha Fellowship, or what we call development entrepreneurship? We are looking at, we looked at hope and opportunities, right? So three opportunities are there. Biggest opportunity is young Indians today. They are all aspirational. In my time, we used to look for a long lifetime job. Join Air India or join Tata's or join whatever. Here, people all want to become Bill Gates. People want to become Oyo owner. People want to become Flipkart owner. So even average young Indian today is aspirational. So that is my opportunity. Only one twist we want to give is that you become a social entrepreneur, not just an entrepreneur. Point one. So we are saying that even 2% of the IIT graduates actually become innovative, solve problems of the society. I think we are done. We don't need more than 2%. Like 2% CSR, we call it in India, 2% of the profit to give, just 2% people, and not more than that anyway, ever in history we have seen. So that is one opportunity. Young people are aspirational, they want to solve problems. Number two, there are opportunities even in the village value chains, what we call supply chains. You bring technology and you can process the waste of fruit and vegetables. 8 to 12% of fruit and vegetable is wasted in this country. 8 to 12%. Imagine humongous amount of tomatoes or mango or whatever you imagine is wasted because the cold chain technology does not exist. Preservation technology does not exist. Storage technology does not exist. So with technology, we can bring most of the fruit and vegetables, so other perishables like imli, tamarind, custard apple from the forest to the urban areas where we can eat that.
So
So
with
there are
that, we are
opportunities.
getting into the opportunity. See, my
Yes.
question, and I think the audience question is really, when I would like to go really what happens in your head,
Okay.
right? Your heart, we get it. We all understand it. And we are glad you are doing it because we are all engineers. We want to put the process. So let's agree on a problem. We want to bring equilibrium in the society. We want to uplift the people who have no opportunities or have some opportunities, but they don't know. What you have done it is brilliantly. You are selecting these entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, and you are coaching and mentoring them, and you have a 2-year program. So why is it 2 year? And how do you do selection? And how do you ensure that your graduation rate is 90%, not 10%? Because the biggest problem with all of these programs and systems is your success ratio is 80-20. So it's 20% successful, 80% fail. And you are able to achieve 80% plus. And that is brilliant. So if you can talk about that, that would be really cool.
Let me start with an example because sometimes the examples will make people excited or understand the things better. So there's an IMA graduate, fresh, no experience, of 2018 called Koli Madhu. He decided to not apply to any corporate company, not any corporate sector job, no McKinsey, nothing. He said, I want to join Buddha Fellowship program.
Wow.
Today, he is setting up greenhouses, the Israeli technology, precision agriculture to grow Dutch roses in Guntur, which has got 45 degrees temperature in the summer. I'll tell you, this is IIM example. There is an IIT Kharagpur girl, Preeti Singh. She was taught by one of her professors to be job creator. She remembered it. She joined Schlumberger, the company where she could earn so much, but she
Yeah.
wanted take something from the village and sell it in a Bombay society. She tried that and applied for Buddha Fellowship. Today, she's got $400,000 from Axis Bank Foundation to teach young women and young girls photography, young girls IT education in of Badlands of UP. And
Wow.
she's doing it in Mirzapur, Gorakhpur, Varanasi, and all those places. She is getting them job as a photographer. Can you imagine? So many people that's the 10th most populous country in the world, Uttar Pradesh. 20 crore people. So many people must be getting married. So she is training them for wedding photographs. So imagine an IIT Kharagpur girl training herself to be a gig economy job creator. So how do we select people? We look for it's a very difficult thing to do, but passion, zeal, which means that when things go down, you get up and start. If you get a bouncer, you duck, or you get hit. Somebody is bowling at you, whether it's a Dennis Lilly or whoever is your bowler in your time, but you are ready for the next ball. So we look for that kind of grit and determination in the person. Then, secondly, we look for an idea, innovation. Somebody is looking at same problem but out of the box. So what Madhu wants to do is to increase farmers' income from 10,000 to a lakh of rupees, or 10x. He thought of a solution of greenhouse, and he's put 30 lakh of his own money and his friend's money, and 30 lakh he got from the government. That is almost like $100,000.
Yeah, it's nothing.
So we are looking for, and he is such a clever guy. In a room, I got one of my classmates. He is a ex CEO of Dabur, Sitaram, and he says to him, "So this guy Sitaram is Hindustan Lever, then Dabur, etc." So this guy is grilling every Buddha fellow. So the guy comes up and says, "I want to do this." Because it's not my idea, it's my father's idea. He's already anticipated he'll be grilled like fried chicken, but he is saying it's my father's idea. Should I try it? So he is already, very clever, and he went and did it. So I think also it means that how you are clever about presenting your idea and going and searching. So these are some of the ways in which you select people for Buddha fellowship.
So how many Buddha fellows till date?
So we have 8 successful Buddha fellows, and some of them are brilliant in terms of product or of process they are innovating. I talked to you about 2 in terms of growing Dutch roses. Somebody is doing processing of custard apple. So out of the 8, 4 are really brilliant, and some are average. So 8 Buddha fellows we have today.
Very amazing, really, really great. So,
Yeah.
so the way you select these people, so you have an annual contest for that. How do you do that?
There is a learning curve. So today we are doing open search. So you put out an advertisement in Google, then we are seeing how many leads are being generated, those who know data science. So we are looking for opening the sector up by, we could go to only select alumni associations of IITs. We could have gone to alumni associations of IIMs. We could have gone to alumni association of whatever. But we are saying every young graduate in the country, wherever, from Cochin to wherever, should be looking at Buddha Fellowship as and also have an opportunity to become an entrepreneur. So now we are doing a digital search or digital marketing of it. But previously, what we have done is going to campuses and looking for graduates like Madhu or Preeti to come and apply. So this is now we are expanding, and we are taking more risk in terms of putting money out, but we want to come up with a model like Ashoka Fellow. You search and you find people they'll apply. Yeah, that's the way we are doing it. Yeah.
Awesome. No, this is a brilliant initiative, and uh, you have impacted so many lives. So many people came out of poverty. That's commendable. So coming back to the question of entrepreneurship, can you give me 3 traits you look for when you meet somebody and say, yeah, he's an entrepreneur and he's not?
One, this guy is, so I will say that the person is more a listener, a person who is more interested in finding a solution, not necessarily talking about the problem. So one trait I find is quietly doing, whether you call it research or whether you call it innovative experimentation, but this person is looking to solve a problem and is willing to put his life on it, which means he is willing to put hard work and willing to let go of comfort. That is one trait of an entrepreneur. Second trait of entrepreneur I find is that he is not a loner. He may appear to be a loner, but actually he is a, to use a very strange term, a political animal, uh, or a social animal, like yourself or like me, or if not me. So he believes or she believes that he is not the only person. In that sense, he's very humble. That together, so I have a rule of three in my life also. Whenever I set up something, three people have to do it at least. So second thing about, we call it leadership, but actually essentially at core this person is a team person. That is second thing I find. Third is what we call, I earlier said, if you put up a proposal, in our world, in the in the NGO world, we write a proposal to somebody, say Tata Trust, whoever is giving money, and you don't get a yes, that means you, but you get discouraged and you leave. That means you are not an entrepreneur. Somebody said, if you want to raise money, at least 7 times I have to talk to Sanjeev, then only he'll give me money. So it's like 6 times you say no, and seventh time still I'll keep coming to you. That means, or Edison's example, how many times he tried making the bulb? 36 or 37 types of material he used before he came to the material. So that is the third thing, that a person is tirelessly working to find a solution. And failure, he does not call it a failure, he calls it everything is a discovery, everything is learning. So these three traits I think is evident, are evident in many of the entrepreneurs that I see around.
Well, let me summarize for our audience. People have such a short attention span nowadays. It's very complicated, right? They don't even listen to the whole thing. So let me summarize it. And so I understand it correctly too. So number one, I hear from you is he's passionate about solving a problem or solving the problem he's taking. So that is, it's not about just problem solving attitude. If you're not passionate, not, it's not a entrepreneurship, right? And that goes to a lot of people. If you're listening to this show, are you passionate about solving a problem? Number two is, are you a team player? You believe in building a team. And number three is never quit attitude. Because if you don't have that, you will not be successful in spite of raising the money, in spite of having the team, in spite of everything. If you have that, you don't have the attitude, chances are you may not be able to do it because life will keep throwing curveballs to you. Did I summarize it accurately, Ved?
Absolutely. And the third one often is also interpreted as being incorrigible optimist. So that is very important, because, so I do an experiment just for adding. Every evening before I go to sleep, I write to my wife on my WhatsApp message three good things that happened to me today. Only good things. I don't say if and but. So that way you are continuing to look at the half glass is full, it's not empty. So it's very important for solving a problem, because there will be so many disappointments in life.
Awesome. No, that's really cool. I'm so glad. So let's move forward. Uh, let's go back to your IIT days. How was the environment when you were in IIT, and how it has transformed you, or what impact of that environment you have till today, or any story you have from your IIT days which is formidable till today?
I started with 6.5 in the first semester, and by third semester it was 9.5, and by fourth semester 10, fifth semester 10, and so on. I think IIT environment pushes you to do your best. That is a habit learned for life, that at anything you put your best. you are not satisfied for less than the best.
Until you
So
are at the finish line. So you don't
until
quit,
you are,
get to the finish
yes,
line.
yes, yes, yes. And
Awesome.
this is one lesson, one thing. It became part of my DNA wherever I went. So I think this is courage, this is boldness, this is stubbornness, whatever you call it. Nothing will, you won't feel daunted by any challenge that comes to you.
True.
So yeah, so this is one thing I would say is only IIT's gift to me and to all of us who are
All of us.
listening.
To all of us.
IIT's gift is that it takes you through fire and makes you give out your best. So you're not satisfied with something easy to solve. You want to pick up a difficult problem to solve, and that is, I think, is the best thing that one can get in life.
So Ved, now I'm going to ask my favorite question. And that is, do you have a confession for our audience?
There are plenty of confessions one can make.
Oh, we just want one, the best one.
See, you try your best, but you make many mistakes. I would say that how I look at it also. After I quit TCS, I looked around and see whether I could do what Baba Amte was doing. So I was beginning to see myself in a public role. So which are the opportunities in India for a public role?
Politics.
Can you name one? Politics.
Politics.
Another one is civil service. So I wrote civil service exam, and totally contrary to my expectation, I did not get the IS. So, but how I've looked at it thereafter, I've looked at it thereafter as I will make whatever comes to me. Gita says, समय से पहले या भाग्य से ज्यादा किसी को ज्यादा मिलता नहीं. So one lesson, lesson learned is to feel you are gifted. God has given you this life, make the best of it. So there are many other confessions one could make. Even in love affairs, you can make many confessions. But their confession, I have been honest to my wife because I think rather than what I did, being honest to your life partner is more core to your relationship. It is more important that you are transparent. And this
Absolutely.
trust. So often, many of our colleagues, many friends here would talk about trust. Trust is earned by sharing, as you just asked me, and thank you for asking me this question about confession. That if you are honest with the rest, with the other people, with the people who are intimate to you, it is a more long lasting relationship in your family, in your team in the office, or out there in the world. And I think that the world is actually ultimately fair to you. So that's how you will be rewarded. If you're not rewarded in this life, somewhere else. Otherwise, I have done what I could in my life.
Oh, Ved, it was so much joy to talk to you, and I learned so many things. And the biggest thing I learned from you today is being honest to yourself. Because when you are honest with you, you create possibilities, not just for you. You create a trusting environment, you create opportunities for the people around you, you thrive yourself. You create a world which you want to live in. And that is so fundamental. A lot of time when we are in the race to get somewhere, we forget this one important thing. Are you honest with yourself or not? And we both have gone through that, and I'm sure the people who are going to listen to this video is they will realize when they are honest to themselves, everything worked miraculously.
I'll give you an example, Sanjeev. In the 2020 COVID time, civil society organizations in the country came together, and they've been pushed by current political dispensation. Everybody knows. We came together. I was in some ways, the pivot or the magnet. Seven of us came together. I said we have to show to the country that in this crisis, we are of some help to people who are suffering from COVID. Soon, you would not believe, we became 20, we became 65. Today, we are 85 organizations whose collective turnover is 1300 to 1500 crores. And we are together reaching 1.6 crore people in 110 districts. So, this is the question of how we can trust each other to come together. Otherwise, in this country, we don't trust each other. NGOs don't come together because they're fighting for same resources. But another example of trust which gives you courage. Many of us would know about the regulation of the foreign contribution, that you can't bring money from outside unless you are allowed by the Ministry of Home Affairs. And this is hurting many small NGOs. We were the only network that wrote to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, not once, but twice. And my name is there. And I'm sure there is a file in my name in the Ministry of Home Affairs. This guy talks too much. But in my heart, I was only being honest and truthful to my role to bring to the powers that be the issue of organizations that working for poor at the grassroots. So I'm just sharing with you, if you're honest, and nobody has harassed me. I've written in September 2020, I've written again in March 2021, and I've gone and met the Joint Secretary. We were the only network, I'm saying, and our names are there. People might imagine, he writes so much, people will come, so IB will come after me. I am telling you, not one call, not one letter, no police guy ever has come to me. So I think, and even if they did, I would explain myself what I did and what. So I think truth and honesty to the purpose and being what the role you are playing is transparent to the other person. I don't think देश की या शक्ति, विश्व की कोई भी शक्ति आपको टच नहीं कर सकती. That is what my belief.
So I'll share another story of my own life where similar things we talk about. So we talked about two things in this story. Is taking a cause without knowing how will you execute it, but you believe in that cause. And then miraculously, the whole world or the universe conspire for you to achieve it. Similar story, just like you, I have personally. One of my friend called me when India second wave started, and there was a lot of problems, and people were figuring it out what to do with that. And I said, I'm just one guy. I'm nobody. I mean, I don't even have an organization like Ved or anybody. I mean, I'm just one guy, really. And I say, okay, no matter what, I'm going to figure it out how to do it. I even talked to PanIIT board. They said, yeah, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. This is okay. You go when you figure out to come back. Okay, that's got it. I got their full support, of course. And then I started this initiative. I call it United Against COVID. You won't believe, Ved, the kind of support I got from community. The people come together. The people were helping me, not just writing checks. I mean, we have raised a lot of money. We were able to send thousands and thousands of oxygen concentrators to India. All the IITs, including IIM, by the way, were equipped with these concentrators we were able to send. We faced so many problems of shipping, courier, delivery. Even the guy who was manufacturing, he kind of created a lot of issues for us, but we stayed true to our purpose. So a point I'm trying to make with is when your heart is pure and when you are really working with with everything you got to serve, miracles happen. And that's what you did. That's what we did. We were able to have 1,200 volunteers. Can you believe? And that we did all that in less than 4 weeks.
So actually, Sanjeev, your story.
And it's not me. I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. But people were like, I can't even tell you the overpour of the, I don't know what was it, but it just, when you think bigger than you, just universe conspire for you to be successful.
This is absolutely amazing to have 1,200 people in 4 weeks' time. You showed faith in yourself. And that faith is almost like infectious. Other people begin to say, "Arey, somebody is doing it." People look for instinctively, if somebody does it, then they join you. So I think this is absolutely a wonderful thing. You organized the PanIIT. Amitabh Raturi was saying that 16,000 people attended, or maybe that is also understatement.
That's an
It's
understatement, but I'm grateful. I get all the credit, but it was such a phenomenal team effort. Same thing. I had no idea. So, point we both are trying to make it is, if you take thing with a purpose and you give your all in, the universe will conspire. The people will come. Everything will happen miraculously.
so to relate to Buddha Fellowship. When we started, people said, people won't join you. There is no Buddha Fellowship material available. They will all join McKinsey. Why would they come? And this Madhu is living in bachelor quarters. And when COVID happened, to relate to COVID, he is supposed to be getting his rose seedlings from Madras, and it got stopped. The truck stopped at the border because Mr. Modi announced the lockdown on 20th or
Yeah.
22nd of March. For whole year almost he could not grow roses.
Yeah.
So he actually lived in penury. Even then he continued. So I think, and that means we still have Buddha fellow who's from IMA. I can tell you this story. He has raised $200,000 in financing his greenhouses. So I think world conspires. It means that if you give hope to people, they will come forward and they will join you. So we want to have 1,000 Buddha fellows over next 8 years and actually touch 1 million lives. And I'm absolutely confident we can do it. So that there comes our conviction when we have faith in ourselves and we communicate it. So I'm drawing energy from you today. So that is going to help me in my work as well, Sanjeev. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Ved. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really had a lot of fun and learned so much from you. I can't even tell you. For our audience, you can check Ved online. He's IIT Kanpur Distinguished alum. But what makes him special is he has given his life for the betterment of society. Do check him out. And thank you so much, Ved.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you very much. And hello and bye